Hey, so I've got a couple of young guys with me today, Andrés Rosales and Mauricio Moel. They approached me a little while back with a really interesting concept, and I've become very involved with their project as well. But I think I'm going to let Andrés explain what it's all about and how it started, how the light bulb went off and how it went from the thought process to something that's actually going to happen shortly. So Andrés, tell us about it.
Thank you, Doug. Let me start by saying that it's a pleasure to have you be a member of Ketokind and that we are very excited to get this product out into the market. And I'll tell you a little bit about how Mauricio and I started working on this. So a couple of years ago, we both grew up here in Mexico, and we ended up going to college together in Boston. And since we were young, we were troubled by the way we saw people eating, and both in Mexico, but also in the US. We would see diabetes and all of these diseases that we thought would be best treated by a sound nutritional approach. And we ourselves were victims of this poor nutrition. Mauricio had become a borderline diabetic by age 20, which we were very worried about. And when we came to Boston, we had the opportunity to explore the low carb world through getting to know it through conferences and podcasts such as yours. And we discovered that there was actually a huge subset of patients that felt very much disappointed with the products that were out there, specifically products like Ensure and Glucerna, which were marketed to be diabetic friendly products or products that could be used to treat chronic conditions. And we just thought that that was misleading and wrong. And Mauricio and I connected with many of these sort of patients and learned about their stories, saw the similarities that there were between theirs and ours. And midway through our sophomore year in college, we decided to undertake the daring journey of making a product that we thought could help these patients as a nutritional support in the way that they wanted to do so, which was through a low carb diet. And that's essentially how it started. And it's been a couple of years now, but we are very excited to get the product out for everyone to use very soon.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept, but I know, and people have voiced the same concern to me as well. And that's like, okay, so you're going to come with this new product, but it's unknown, and all of these other things have huge market penetration. How do you think you're going to penetrate that market and successfully, start selling this stuff?
Yeah, Doug, I think that returns right to the roots of how this company started, and it started by us talking to many physicians, practitioners, clinicians all over the USA. And we ended up making it was humbling to see this because we started as two 20-year-olds with, biology degrees in progress, but really no more experience than that. And we were able to compile an amazing board of scientific advisors that includes you, of course. And these people have been instrumental in not only making the formula and helping us define what the product is, but also in putting the product out there, introducing it to their own patients, blogging about it, mentioning it. Some of these, as you also know them, Doug, Dr. Nasha Winters and Travis Christofferson, Miriam Kalamian. These are really highly regarded people that have large audiences who they speak to, and they have been connecting us to many users to talk about the product. And they are going to be one of the main ways in which we sort of gain awareness for the product initially. And it will be very organic. We were very keen on making it be something that was available to patients or customers that were working by themselves, but also for those who were having the support of a health coach or a nutritional or clinical consultant or doctor. And that's how the product is supposed to be rolled out, Doug.
Yeah, so I think that's the whole point, is you're not really competing at that level with them. You're introducing it as a medical grade product. So there's a lot of people with a lot of huge followings in this community. And so if they like it and they endorse it effectively and introduce that to their followers and their patients, if they are clinicians, then I feel like that's going to be successful in actually getting some market share in this. I know, like, you sent me a couple of samples a little while back, and they came in a box with dry ice and all of that stuff because it had to remain cooled. And you said to me that the final product was not going to require that cooling. And it seems like this is I don't think anybody, and in fact, I don't even think I have half a clue how much goes into trying to develop a product like this. And maybe tell us some of the challenges and stuff that you've had in actually getting to a point where you're going to have a really stable product on the shelf.
Yeah, Doug, I was glad and relieved when you finally got those samples, because with the summer heat, we were quite worried that they would arrive in bad shape. And we, of course, didn't want to cause any stomach poisoning for you. But on your question on the product, though, I'll say briefly as well that the final version of the product that will be available to customers will not be requiring, it will not be cold channeled, so it can be stored safely and not be refrigerated necessarily. Although we do recommend that people enjoy it cold. It seems to be the best tasting. But on your question regarding the product, Doug, it's definitely, been a challenge with the limited financial means and sort of logistical means that a startup has to get it going. But let me actually take a step back and mention why we're so proud of having advisors such as yourself and of having such a high quality product. Let me actually mention some of the key characteristics of the product. And as you know, Doug, Nasha and Miriam and some of the other people that form part of Ketokind have very high standards of what a ketogenic diet actually means. And they were, from the very beginning, they were keen on joining only if the product complied to the standards that they laid out for us. And some of these standards included absolutely no chance of any sugar. They didn't want sugar alcohols in it, which talking to patients, we know why. Many people report GI distress, and some even report some glucose spikes by using when they consume sugar alcohols. We wanted the product to be very transparent, list the total amount of carbohydrates, not just net carbohydrates, which we know has become popular. And the product is very minimalistic. It only has 8 ingredients, and it's plant-based to fit really any kind of ketogenic diet that people might want. It's only lightly sweetened with monk fruit and stevia. And we derive most of the caloric value of the product actually from avocado oil and MCT oil, which is a very nice blend of high quality monounsaturated fats. And then the MCTs to give the product a little jolt and help people get into and stay in ketosis easier. And we're very proud of having been able to get to a product that has a 3-to-1 ketogenic ratio, which we knew in talking to many patients was very important for them and for their clinicians. So that's a big part of it. And so the development started there, Doug. Just formulating this started in our kitchens with a couple of blenders and angry mothers for making messes in our kitchens. And then through many, many hours of calling and meeting with advisors, including yourself, and just talking to hundreds of users and doing taste trials and traveling and, sending samples through the horrible months of heat in the summer, we arrived at what the final formula was. And once we felt that that was complete, we send it to our partner to manufacture, and and that is what you tasted effectively, the final version of Ketokind. Which we're very happy to finally have. And yeah, Doug, that's essentially the journey that took us here.
So because I know at one stage it was a bit lower in fats, and then I believe you've been adding some to the formula. So what are the sort of the macro breakdowns of because it's in a little bottle. I forget how it's about 250 mils or something like that, right? So
Yes,
what's
Doug,
what's the macro breakdowns in that little bottle?
Yeah, Doug, so it's going to be an 8-ounce product, and the final versions, it might change in a very small amount, but the final version is going to have 30 grams of fat, with most of it coming from avocado oil and MCT oil, as mentioned. It'll have 10 grams of protein, which we thought was the sweet spot for people to feel satiated from the drink and be sort of, have enough protein, but not be too much that it would not be compatible with certain eating styles. And then it'll have 2 grams of carbohydrate, and that's not net carbohydrate, that's total carbohydrate. So it really is a truly exceptionally ketogenic drink. And it'll have 2 of those grams of carbs are actually, one of those 2 grams is actually fiber. And essentially that's what it is. And you'll be seeing it available in these very neat 8-ounce pouches, which we love because they seem to be very portable. People are loving how they can just put it on their backpack, take it to work, have it on their desk, put it on the fridge, anything essentially to have a high quality, convenient keto snack or product available at any point in the day.
Yeah, what I like about that sachet is that it squishes flat when you finish drinking it. So in terms of, I don't know, space in your garbage can also, you don't have a bunch of empty bottles lying around after a short time, and much easier to dispose of them, and much easier
That's right, Doug.
to carry them around, throw them in your bag and that. So yeah, 2 grams that's 2 grams in the whole 8 ounce serving.
That's right. That's right, Doug. And 0 grams of sugar, which we were very keen on, and 0 grams of sugar alcohol is really a very clean product. The only thing that you would see as an add-on ingredient would be sunflower lecithin, which is the keto-friendly emulsifier we're using to make the drink silky and tasty, which we knew was important. And the rest is just the core ingredients that we mentioned. So this is really, it was weird at times, Doug. We have this tendency, I think, sometimes as biologists or humans to think that the more means better, and that adding more ingredients would make a product better. But we actually think, and from our user interviews discover that actually the less ingredients we had there, and the more this could resemble an actual real whole food, the better it would be, and the better it would serve these patients and customers. And so that's what we went for, and we're very happy that we could make a product like this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing thing, and I think it's going to end up in the keto community to be utilized by a lot of people, and not just patients, right? The diabetic patients or whatever, because it's like a lot of people, one of the things they really struggle with is when they're at home, they can eat keto, that's fine. But the minute they go out to work or something, suddenly what's available in the canteen at work or at the local deli around the corner from where they work, where people go down normally and get lunch or whatever, they just don't have the options. And they've got their colleagues saying, just have it, what harm can I do, and whatever. And they're always under this peer pressure to fall off the wagon all the time. And this way they can just chuck this thing in their bag and they've got lunch covered. And I think that's going to be really useful to a lot of people. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. I think it's an exciting project. So what I'm going to do is put a link down in the show notes that will allow you people to go and check this stuff out and put in your pre-orders if you'd like to try it. I think it's a brilliant idea. I must admit, I don't know where the flavors are going to go, but I tried the vanilla and it was amazing. I'm not a big chocolate fan ever, so I didn't really like the chocolate that much, but people who like chocolate are going to be completely in a different boat. So I encourage you guys to try it, man.
We'll have a special discount code available for LowCarbUSA members, Doug, and do keep an eye out for it. It'll be out very soon.
Cool. So we'll put that all out in the notes below so people know how to go and do it.